Giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Rachakodash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and its sincere shalom to the Achanis out there pushing the sincerity and the truth and the sound doctrine. Um, Really quick and simple video. Might only even be 5 minutes or so. Nothing really, crazy, not really extravagant. I never really do, you know, extravagant videos anyway. So they always really, really simple. Most of them, for the most part, really, really short. Um, so I was kind of skimming through this video. It had restarted, but a person came up to these brothers here. I don't really, I'm not familiar with these brothers, and I don't know what doctrine they teach, or whatever. But I'm going into the fact that these people like going up to these camps and telling them how to teach. Here's the thing, man. If you're not out there actually doing it yourself, and you don't know how or what it is, or how it is to be out there and teach and stuff like that, you can't exactly say that they're doing any you know their ways of teaching is wrong. Now, if we say that, look, man, you can't be now, criticism is okay. It's that's fine. We had that before. You know what I'm saying? We had that before, but let's just outright and say that no, you're just doing it all wrong. You know, that it goes beyond critic. And then, like I said, you're not out there, so you don't really know how it is. Once you out there and you gotta pull scriptures out on time, and and I know how to do it, when to do it, and read different people's spirits and stuff like that. And if you got a job that kind of requires reading people's demeanors and spirits, then you have a better understanding. But like what we do is we say, look, it's not a good idea to be going out there just cursing anybody out. You know what I'm saying? It's bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? I remember not too long ago, a Jake, a Jake out there, standing out there reading the Bible. He yelled out at somebody driving by, who I guess had a so-called white woman, and the Jake got out and was ready to fight him, and the brothers that stood up there got shook. This is why we say you have to be smart when you go out there. Okay, but again, we are allowed to say, even go that far, because we are out there. We have been out there, and we know how to carry it. You know what I'm saying? The reason I'm saying this is because anybody that hasn't been out there and they end up going out there and they understand, they don't have a full understanding of like what it is, how it is, then they don't know what to do. They don't know how to carry it. So that only proves that people that could randomly come up and say, "Oh, you're doing it wrong. You're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to do that." It's just like, number one, you gotta know how it is to be out there. But another thing, the more important part of that is, let's say somebody is doing something wrong. This is the more important part, and this is, like I said, straight to the point. Matthew chapter 13, verse 9. This is before all else. Before everything I just explained, I'm kind of going backwards, but before anything I just explained, this is what you got to understand first, okay? Matthew chapter 13 and verse 9. Who have ears to hear, let them hear. So if anybody is willing to hear what you got to say, and it's actually resonating with them, it don't matter how you come off, right? We had people come up to us, and they stood there even at the harsh words were said, and they stood there, and it's just like, one thing you gotta understand, that it's not meant for everybody. So we stand out there, and we haven't had that, somebody come up to us like that in a minute, but when you stand out there, and it's just like, well, why are you doing this, or why? It's just like, what are we doing wrong? We're just telling you about the Bible. We're not so-called cursing, so-called. You know what I'm saying? And they still say you're doing it wrong, right? But we had people, like I said, when things get rowdy and all types of so-called curse words are said, because those aren't curse words, so-called curse words were said and stuff like that, we had people actually listen. I was like, okay, well, yeah, that makes sense, right? Like I said, we can, since we've been out there and we understand what it is, and we understand the bigger picture of why we going out there, right? We're not going out there to curse out Esau all the time, man. Right? Number one, cursing out Esau is not going to get you. When you think about it, cursing out an Edomite is not going to get you anywhere, because those random Edomites that you see walking by, they ain't nothing. They gonna be servants too, man. Right? I mean obviously all Edomites going to be, but if they are right there talking with you, then they're just as low as you are. Right? They're just as low as you are. They're pawns too. Right? We focus on those elites, man. We don't focus on the regular Edomite walking up and down the street. You going into captivity, you going into slavery, you doing this, you doing that. Right? Because that ain't going to get you nowhere. If you really think about it, cursing out an Edomite is not going to get you anywhere. You gonna go home and feel satisfied, then what? You gotta go home and work for this devil again, right? You gotta pay his bills, because these aren't our bills; these are just bills given to us. You gotta pay his bills. You know what I'm saying? You gotta pay Esau's bills, man. So it's just like, what is it gonna get you? But again, these are things that we can say because we know how it is and we understand why we're going out there. Okay? And it's only for those who have ears to hear. If you don't have ears to hear, you could be the most nicest speaker out there, and people are still going to call you a hate group, right? You can come off as lenient as you want. Most of the time when people come up to us, they start the trouble. We don't yell or scream at nobody. We ask, hey, do you want to come up and talk about the Bible? Some people get attitudes and say no, because they automatically see us as Israelites and think that we're going to yell and scream at them. That comes from these other Israelite groups that always running around here yelling and screaming at Esau in 2/3, right? Because they don't understand what this thing is for. They out there for some clout. So a lot of times it don't matter how lenient you come off as somebody, they just gonna come up to you and just start trouble. You know, that's just what it is. But it's for those who have ears to hear. They're going to hear. No matter how rough and austere you come off, or how soft and soft spoken you come off, you gotta understand that none of us up there is soft spoken. This is not a soft spoken job. This is a really rough job to be going out there dealing with the public on a very, very controversial topic, man. And the main topic is everybody being delivered. That's one of the main topics out there, right? People ready to fight you. People ready to kill you, man. Damn near had gun threats and stuff like that. For what? Reading the Bible. So if you're not out there, you gotta understand first that number one is given to those who is given to. And we're going to continue reading here. It's going to be given to the ones that have ears to hear. And number two, that's not an easy job being out there, man. You got it. You have to be tough to stand out there like that. You gotta be alert. You gotta be stern. You gotta talk rough, and that's how men speak anyway, right? It may come off as rough. It is what it is. You just gotta accept it. But this society is so soft, and what I mean by men speaking rough, I don't mean all that rah rah type stuff that these other Israelite camps talk. We talk about raw stuff. We ain't talking about that yelling and screaming all the time, man. Cause that ain't, that's just whatever. Now, scriptures say, raise up your voice like a trumpet, no doubt. But all that mindless yelling and screaming that these other Israelite camps like doing is absolutely ridiculous, man. And it's tasteless, and it's just like, because people, especially the woman, love seeing drama. We like it too. Everybody like it. Being all of us is Jake. We all like drama to some degree. I do. You know what I'm saying? But when it gets in the way of blocking of diverting your focus away from the reason why you're out there, you start playing around with people's lives, and that's unacceptable. It is a very, very serious thing being out there, and it gets under my skin seeing Jake staying out there with these guys. These Jakes don't even got uh they don't even have shirt fringes. Like it's getting crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? You do what you do, but as you see, these guys don't even have shirt fringes. They have nothing. When you stand out there, it's supposed to be almost like ceremonial because you're remembering. You're coming back to your remembrance. But they just not doing anything at all. But anyway, let's continue on. Matthew chapter 13, verse 10. I know it was a little bit of a ramble session, but sometimes it just happens. It says, and the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou unto them in parables? Another way of a parable is pretty much the way you speak. Because I mean the way we approach situations, and topics, and the way we come off at people. But what's great, again, you can't lump all Israelites in one. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because every time we go to Christians, you say, well, it's not all Christians. But every time y'all talk about Israelites, y'all just try to lump everybody in one. And it's just like we all not like that. Because what pops up is those videos that get the views. And the videos that get the views are the ones that's a bunch of crazed so-called black people with beards and garments cursing out white people or cursing out somebody. And it's just like, number one, you got to look at the context of how that even started. But of course, nobody looks deeper into topics. They always believe what media puts out, right? But again, one of the ways of looking at a parable is the approach, pretty much. I'm trying to think of the word, but I can't think of it right now. I'm drawing blanks. Yeah, I can't think of it right now. But the way you approach somebody, right, is another way of like a parable, because they don't understand. Because this society has taught you one way, and you're not used to men not using their inside voices, pretty much, right? You're so used to submissive men, and it's just like, no, we're not like that. We're gonna tell you how it is, like it is, and it's just raw. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna sugarcoat nothing for you, right? For views and a paycheck. We get all that on our own, right? When we out there, it's strictly the Lord's business. The hell with the money. To hell with the money. To hell with the views. To hell with with all that clout stuff. All that's on the side. Leave that out. And if you don't like how we tell it to you, because we're not looking for no extra views or nothing like that, you can move around. You know what I'm saying? You could go. Our job is to put the message out there. We're not going. That's another reason why we don't yell and scream at you, man. You try to talk over us, yeah, we're going to raise our voices too, right? But we not going to yell and scream at you like these other Israelite camps. Wake up, brother. Wake up, sister. Wake up, so and so. Wake up, wake up. We're not doing all that, because it's up to, again, let's read this, right? He answered and said unto them, because it's given to you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. It says, what is the underlying word here? Given. Okay? People seem to look over the smallest words. That's why given is literally I would say one of my favorite words. Like Job chapter 9 verse 24, the earth is given. Okay? Is given. That given is a really strong word, man. Okay? And you can see right here, to them, it's not given, but to you, it was. So it really don't matter. At the end of the day, it really don't matter how you come off at somebody. If they're willing to listen to you, then they're willing to listen to you. It doesn't matter. And if they get it, then they get it. And if they don't, then they don't. Right? It's just like relationships. If a woman love you, she gonna love you no matter how you look or how you sound or how whatever you do. She gonna love you either way. If she don't, then she gonna find some excuse, some BS excuse to make up to try to divorce you or whatever. It's the same thing, pretty much. Right? It's the same thing. Whenever you want to do something, you're going to find a way to do it. So if you want to hear, if a person wants to hear, they don't care about your approach. They want to hear what you got to say. Instead, you want to run up to people talking about you're doing this the wrong way. You're doing that the wrong way. Instead of sitting back and just listening for a second. That's one thing that a lot of our people just don't do is just sit back, relax, and just listen for a second. Just listen for a second. Let us explain. And then maybe you could criticize us. But don't run up to us and talk about, oh, you're doing this wrong. Oh, you're doing that wrong. Instead, you could just just keep quiet for a second. Just keep quiet for a second. Let us explain what all of this is about. Okay? Let us explain what all of this is about. And, if it ain't given to you, then it just ain't given to you. We come off a little rough, then you come off a little rough. That's what it is. If you don't like it, if a person don't like it, they just gonna keep on moving. But no, you always got that. You always got that one person that says, "Oh, you're just doing this wrong." You out of how many people says that? Because I got you saying it, but then I got this other person that say, "No, I don't see nothing wrong with it." It's the spirit. We're not going off of what you like and what you don't like, man. It's the spirit. That's just what it is. If it's given to you, then it's given to you. If it's not, then it's just not. It don't matter how you come off at somebody. Don't matter. Right? Anyway, let's keep going. It says, "For whosoever hath to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance." It says, "But whosoever have not, from him shall be taken away, even that he have." So again, given, it's a given or taken away. If you're given the spirit and you're given the ears to hear, then you're going to hear. If not, if not, then it is what it is. People going to hate you no matter what. Like I said, people walk by us and scoffed at us, and we haven't said not one word to them. Right? Wasn't even talking to them. They walk by, and you know what I'm saying? They just talk shit. It's just like, what we say to you? We had one guy walk by, and I can't remember what he was saying. We didn't say not one word to him. He just turned as he walked by, turned to us and started yelling and screaming and stuff like that. And he said, "Yeah, white people, y'all just hate white people, this, that, and the other." And it's just like, now why would you go and say that? Why would you go and say that? No, like that comes from these other Israelite camps. That's what we're saying. It comes from these other Israelite camps. And we literally asked the guy, "Well, how you know that? Why you passing judgment on this without even examining the matter?" It's, I don't know. I can judge. I am judging. It's just like, well, why? So again, it don't matter. A lot of times, it don't matter how you come off at somebody. If they're going to hear, then they're going to hear. If they're going to hate you, then they're going to hate you, no matter what. That's just what it is. Oh, let's read this. "Therefore speak I to them in parables." Right. It says, because they seeing not, I'm sorry, because they seeing see not, and hearing they hear not, neither do they understand. So you don't understand the ways of the teacher. You're used to those Christian pastors yelling, lying to you, right? Lying to you, telling you smooth words, telling you smooth things to try to make you feel good about your day or make you feel good throughout the day. And a little do you know, you don't really feel good throughout your day. It's just like if you know the truth, then you'll feel a lot better, right? So anyway, like I said, I know it's a little bit of a ramble video, but I do those videos from time to time. I try not to, but this is just a topic that I kind of like touching on from time to time here and there. I think the very last time I touched on this was probably like a year or two ago, right? So anyway, giving all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh, BAHASHAM,